Should I go with Gunolf and just have guys that can instantly cleave through? Yeah, why not? Rift, you still there? Imagine you're playing one of your games as well. A mother screams flood the caravan. Her daughter lies dead in a tent. We all know who did this, she spits, staring directly at the woman she scuffled with previously. Ugh. Murder over marriage. In these times, something must be done, the accused woman. How's destiny going, Rift? A healer joins you in inspecting the young girl's corpse. An old infection, says the healer. No punctures, no choking, no poison. She died of disease. You report the news to the caravan. The mother admits that she had always known her daughter was ill. And everyone moves on. Village? You enter a village of miners who want to know what's been happening recently between the rumblings of the quake and sighting of dredge in the distance. As you look around, you see a lot of elderly and children, and know these people will only be more mouths to feed. You welcome anyone who wishes. Many do, others choose to stay in their homes and see it through. You wish them luck. Ooh. Oh, damn. That's exceptionally good. Who would I put it on, though? Without question, this should go on you. Look at that! Shouts one of your clansmen. The caravan stops to watch dredge pooling into the village as you just passed. Hope anyone stayed, got out alive. Select, but you have your doubts. They're coming, says Ivor, pointing into a line of dreads leaving the village and marching towards. As you watch, the dreads fall over. The one behind it falls as well. You hear a twang to your left. Nid, The archer student of Oddliff, who you recall deftly shooting a snow rabbit, is firing arrows down the hill. Another dredge topples. That's incredible, says Oddliff, squinting. We should get out of here. The next shot bounces off a dredge's armor, but the one after that doesn't, and the Colossus falls to a knee. Another dredge goes down before you get moving again. Why didn't you come along the next time you want to try out that bow? You tell Nid, who nods with a smile on her face. Ha ha! Ooh, Godstone. Someone's been nicking extra goods from the supplies, a concerned woman tells you. Counted them myself yesterday, no mistake. This keeps up, we're going to be all starving. Your clansmen loathe the idea of even more stringent meals. Accusations abound and 2 different fights erupt before you regain some sense of order, but at least you got the message through. Our supplies are limited. I do not care how the morale is. We do not run out of supplies. Look, what the fuck is this music? What the fuck is this music? Boop. The god soul of Dunder passes around you. In the frozen climates here, it looks like the rock has split and is falling apart, held together only by deep snow. Curiously, when standing between the stones, the wind drops off completely, picking up once again once you've passed through. I almost wonder if we should rest here for the night, says Ivor, who seems to have noticed the same thing. With all the snow around, the dredge might not even be able to... You walk around Cap before settling in. Along each strand of Dunder's massive beard is carved a different part of his story. You turn your head to and fro reading. While the Loom Mother was the first to create, she soon found her counterpart in Dunder, who embodied her ideals in a masculine form. Dunder took some of her creations, gave them bread, and showed them the secrets of smithing. Many remember him fondly for teaching them games and songs of mirth. As the camp settles in, you notice a group of boys huddled around something. They show you an offering box carved into the godstone itself. The box itself is an elaborate construction. It's like a puzzle. You and Alette huddle together to keep warm. Fortunately, there's no sign of dreads in the morning. Everyone is feeling surprisingly well rested. You soon return to travel. Up ahead, a scout shouts. Some giant hall, but it's empty. You approach the structure, but recognize none of the markings. The walls seem unsteady. Finally, a roof to sleep under. You overhear. Several families are unpacking. Well, most follow you to a further campsite. A few families stubbornly but consciously enter the hall and bed down. The next day, they rejoin the caravan more refreshed than everyone else. You soon hear complaints of your paranoia. Like I could give a damn. In the distance, Herkstrop smolders like an old campfire. Even from here, you can see black figures shambling up through it. Looks like a dead town, remarks Ivor. confirming your impressions. Did you usually survive, or oddness reminds you? I hope others would do the same for me. Dredge are nothing we haven't faced before, Ivor grunts, but otherwise says nothing. Besides, it might throw Bellara off the scent a bit. You head a dazed march towards Herkstrop. As soon as you step foot in the small town, you think you've made a mistake. It's thoroughly littered with corpses. Within moments, Dredge are upon you, as though you stirred up an angry hornet's nest. You draw weapons. Oh yay, she's already level 2. Ooh, she can actually get up to 10, so I could slap a 12 bracelet on her, couldn't I? And she would be able to always hit, so I could combo these two. For the moment, though. Onward for great justice. Oh god. It's this battlefield. I think the game's a little confused. Basically, these armies are back to back. Not in a good way. Oh wait, Gunnulf is going last because I'm an idiot. Hang on. Then that one. Then that one. Hang on, hang on. Hang on. That's right, block your friend. Figured. I know you're going to go that way. I'm going to leave you a present. Deaded. Oh. Oh, well, okay. I really do not want you having damage. Down you go. Thump. And don't let your pride kill you. If you see a thorny toddler, call it for a team. Consider them an audience, if that helps. Well, okay then. What was the item that you got? Excuse me. This town is nothing but ghosts, now covered in more Dread's bodies too. Remarkably, as you're about to leave, you find an old man sitting quietly in a tattered market stall, with a couple of items in front of him. He hums to himself as if nothing were wrong, and seems to be in shock. Your clansmen gather him into a caravan before you leave. Renown gets 10? Oh my god, yep. I don't know if we've ever spoken. I'm Nid, your rook, I know. We've been traveling together for a long time. It's strange how you can get to be so close to people and not know them. Every day I pass people I swear I've never seen before. I wanted to thank you for letting me join you. Honestly, I've never even tried before Oddlife made me. Spent my whole life making clothes, cleaning. Oddlife's good, but I don't think it was all her doing. It feels right. I'll just look where I want it to go. Anyway, I feel better. The caravan, the people worrying all day and making problems, sometimes they really stew in their misery. I'm glad I can do something helpful. I don't think you're from Skorg. I knew most of the people there. No, I had a house in Frostfelter, but we were driven out when the dredge showed up. My husband died trying to protect our home. My sons and I were thrown out into the fields. I'm sorry. Ikio's men killed my husband. When I left, I was angry. Why was I the one that had to leave their home? How did I deserve this? She looked away momentarily, not sure what to say. But I've let it go. I have 3 sons, and I don't want to grow up with hatred in their hearts. That's why I want to thank you. Don't think anything of it. We all have our own problems to deal with. Let me know if you need me to put an arrow in something. She returns to her tent where her boys are waiting for her. How much for the hunter class? Cool. Our arrogant show-offs. Ah, so I see. More than 2 weeks worth of supplies. Christ, I hope that I don't need more than that. While walking, words of a mother's song reach you. It's soothing, nuanced, and about your current journey. When she finishes, a man begins a tale of his own in verse. The woman quickly responds with another poem, and the entire caravan slows to listen to the entertaining competition. The man's response is an upbeat poem, which questions the mother's cooking. The caravan explodes with laughter, and the contestants continue to lead for another hour or so. You hear snippets of the poem along the trail the rest of the day, the words changing slightly each time. I'd say that was worth it. No what? No what? The god stone of Ingrid, goddess of knowledge, looks on as the caravan takes a much needed rest. Ivor shoos some children away from a solitary dredge slinger lying dead beneath the stone. Should we be worried about that? You ask Ivor, pointing the dredge body. I don't think so, he replies. Still, couldn't hurt to leave a few guards to look around. Hours pass without warning. Ingrid's godstone is carved in ancient runes, which don't make much sense to you, though Ivan tells you some of the Menders have deciphered them. It's how the Menders learned the language of the gods. Past the largest stone are a long series of slabs that contain more writings all the way down the hill. The odd thing, he tells you, is that the writing occasionally changes depending on who is reading it. Usually it describes the history of the gods, but it can be about nearly any topic. Sadly, Evan doesn't know how to read it himself. Juno could, he says. As you're ready to depart, you hear screams from the main godstone. The same boys so curious about the dead dredge before are shrieking and pointing. For a moment, you think it must not have been dead, but then you see that they opened a wrapping that was in the dredge's hands. Wait, Ivor says, his arms across your chest. This shouldn't be seen. Get everyone away. A chill sweeps over you. Aless pushes past and gasps. Stop! Ivor shouts, but the curious onlookers have already seen it. Leave it. On the ground before the dead slinger lies a small stony figure, its hands searching for something it can't find. That's a baby. That dredge is a woman? We've been killing women? We've been slaughtering women and children this whole time? Leaving them to die? In a war, it's only the males who fight. We've been fighting these dredge the whole way. Why are women and children, with children on their backs, attacking us? They're not invading, they're running. Everyone stops in their tracks. The entire caravan gathered around, aghast. When I spoke to Juno, she told me something was coming. She didn't know what, though. A darkness, something black covering the world, and the dredge are running from it just as we're running from them. The serpent, the quake, it's all the beginning of the end. Ivor, you knew! Why? Why didn't you say something? When I was young, I killed one of the Sunder during the Second Great War. We called it Rays. Every time we would build our defenses, it would flatten them and push us back again. I became separated from the rest of the Varro and stumbled upon Rays and deep in a snowstorm, alone. She was nursing. I threw my axe, it twisted in the wind. Her son died in her arms. She was so pathetic, kneeling in the snow. She didn't even try to stop me when I took her head. That's how I killed a Sunder. When I found my way to Grafheim, the Varro wanted to make me their kindred, and next to be king. I left, walked until I ended up in Skorg, where no one knew what I had done. Only the sound of the wind is blowing through the trees. For a long time, nobody says a thing until a child breaks the silence. What do we do with the baby? She asks. A lump forms in your throat, looking at the obsidian creature squirming before you. You argue strongly for showing mercy and humanity. Some of the women in the caravan hesitantly agree to take the dredge infant, while others are furious about bringing it along. Not long afterwards, one of the women comes to you. Its swaddling was being held by this, she says, giving you a hairpin that looks distinctly undredge-like. An inscription on the silver almost slips your notice. Preserve. From the goddess herself, if you ask me, the woman tells you. This is the forest where we get betrayed by Olnif, but he's not with us, so fuck that guy. You're making the usual rounds when you hear a rather loud debate coming from the area that the Varro have gathered. Ivor joins you as you approach. Euban, you'd rather be known for falling asleep and dying in a corner of a mead house than battling Sunder. No, I'd rather be known for not dying. Don't even don't even know what you're worried about. I did this 100 times in the Great War. Take some warriors, plow headfirst into the dredge. They'll follow you up into the hills, get lost, and now they're not following you. When you did this 100 times, did they have Bellower leading them? Have you never heard about the time I hit Bellower in the head with a throwing axe? Both Varl halt their debate when they suddenly notice you watching. I really... Did he really hit him in the head with a throwing axe? And did it have any fucking effect? Don't stop on my account. Careful, my friend. A lot of old history getting thrown around here. The warriors were just noting that there's a damn good number of dredge on our asses. Bellower pulling up the rear. This one thinks he can wander up there and throw them off our tracks. How about some gratitude? Thought you'd be happy to finally be the oldest Varl in the land, Euban. I'm never happy about losing more Varl, Coomer. Besides, I'm not convinced you're really older than me. Leave my ass. You must be used to Ivor following your lead. In the old days, I'd already be halfway to the battlefield by now. Speaking of which, you coming in, Var? You could ask Beller for your arm back. Don't think so. Not exactly in the mood right now. Alright then, I'll tell Harbord you said hello. Isn't that the god that made them? Like, seriously? Coomer and a good many of our warriors head out towards the growing army of dredge. Is he going to come back? He always has before. This time feels different, I fear. Well, that stretches our supplies out longer. A flurry of snowfall seems to come out of nowhere and quickly thickens until you're unable to see the man in front of you. You shout a complete halt, but the screaming winds drown out the sound. A day passes before the blizzard abates, and clansmen start to reappear from the snowdrifts. It quickly becomes apparent that not everyone is where you last saw them, and a quick search of the area is not enough to recover all missing. Plenty of volunteers step forward, and you send them in each direction with a predetermined amount of time. The scouts return mostly empty-handed, and family members plead for more. While calling out for missing family friends, their clan snow into boggy slush. Any chance of finding tracks are soon lost, and the caravan's summon failure. Well, we made it to Sigramhold, and we didn't lose anyone this time. Woohoo! Gather round, doubters! Echoes a shout in the distance as Coomer and his band of warriors break through nearby foliage. And behold, the invincible Varl! The caravan is thrilled to see Coomer return safely. Did the plan work, Euban asks. Work, responds Coomer. Of course it worked. Same old dredge. Should be another day or two at least before they even find their own asses. And if you apologize, I'll tell you how I found these. Coomer says, tossing you a pair of leather gloves that look big enough for a Varl. He leans in close, whispering so you had something to do with a raven's nest on a hair tie. Okay, Boomy. Dunder's hands. It's a big hand.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud home sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake.
Detailed search,
What has
find
the rest
most
of
with
the
no
world
negatives.
become on the
Well,
other
I
side
failed
of
that.
those mountains?
29. I mean, I could go back and get the morale, but fuck it, I'll do it. Give me the best possible fucking odds that I can get. Come on, faster, faster, faster. Average rangers approach, blah, blah, blah. Okay, keep going, keep going. It takes time to establish your proper search team. Wait, this is what I did last time from my first playthrough. Why didn't I do this? But I'm an idiot. But you devise a way to quickly cover as much ground as possible. After a full day of searching, you find many survivors, but your success is dampened by a number of frozen bodies and others that simply vanished. Sorry, and you return to travel. Really? I seem to have lost people. Gather round, doubters, echoes a shout in the distance as Kumar and his band will break through the foliage, blah blah blah.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud homes sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake. What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
Wait, this isn't the, I fucked up again. I fucked up again. I remember that place. It's not the end place. It's, the one place before we get to the end place. Ah, fuck me.
As Sigurholm approaches, we fear the worst. The once calm lake surrounding it now looks like a bowl that has been flipped. Proud homes sinking into muddy water. A side effect of the quake. What has the rest of the world become on the other side of those mountains?
One catastrophe to another, says Oddliff as you pull into Sigram Hold. The town appears to be sinking into the lake. Townspeople peek from dark windows and makeshift hovels further up the hill. No, Edvin says, looking frantic. Where is she? He runs to the front of the caravan, looking out over the water. Juno isn't here, and you get the creeping feeling you're not welcome either. Going upriver looks out of the question. The beach is bare, aside from the occasional skeleton of a ruined fishing boat. You reluctantly set up camp in a sinking town. All I'm saying is, how long are you willing to wait? While taking stock of caravan, you inadvertently walk into a debate between Oddliff and Inn. As long as we need to. And I think we need to get out of here. I don't feel good about this place. Why? What's wrong? Something doesn't feel right. The people here are staring at us like those vultures in the waste. I'm sorry, Ed, and I think Oddliff's right. I saw a man the whole time we were setting up. He was just watching me. In a creepy way. How long before the dredge find us here? Juno will come. Just give it a little more time. Brooke, listen to me. I need you to trust me on this. No, we need to flee. We need to get the fuck out of here. You're really worried about her, aren't you? What? Oh, Juno. Worry doesn't begin to describe it. She doesn't find us here, or something has happened to her. Are you sure about what you saw was real? It could have been a dream. Or, I don't know. You were pretty exhausted. I don't know. To be honest, I'm not sure anymore. Everything's a blur. Don't tell the others I said that. I have to hope it wasn't a dream. Being a mender? I guess I never really thought about it like that. It's just part of me. They knew very young I would join the order. Born into it, you could say. Mother and father, both benders. The guild, or both menders. The guild is for lots of people now. Builders, healers. Do they all pull lightning out of the sky? No. That's not normal. It's one of the reasons why I know Juno. She's one of the council. She helps me control things like this, so we don't end up scaring people. Well, the hardest part usually is seeing the threads. Everything's part of the tapestry. It's made of threads woven together. If you can see the threads, you can manipulate them. I don't know how to explain it exactly. It's like trying to play a harp with invisible strings. Look at my staff, for example. Some hunters carve intricate patterns into the wood to help them remember the shapes of... like I said, hard to explain. I saw Gruff as it burned. Edvin gets a faraway look in his eyes. The thunder blew through it like a tempest. Varl fell in thousands. Most of the thunder left the city and headed south. Who knows where they are now? They might be destroying every town they come to, or heading towards Averang. Beller stayed in Grafheim just for the sport of it, I think. As we fled to Arentoff, I thought he must want to wipe the Varl off the map completely. But then he came after us. Maybe he knew Ivor was the one who killed Reyes. Maybe, but let's just make sure he doesn't catch up. I don't know what to think anymore. I wish I could give you a better answer. Even if we escaped the dredge, the serpent said a darkness was covering the world. I don't know how long it will take, or what it means even. I'm trying to solve one problem at a time. The Manders are in Aberrang. If we can find ships and make it to the capital, we might have a chance. No, it's okay, Rook. I appreciate the talk. It's good to stay grounded. I spend all day worrying about serpents or sunderers. I think a lot of people are intimidated or scared, maybe, of me. Don't worry, it's nothing new. I'm used to it. Maybe sometime we can talk about things that don't include the world ending. Ooh. That's actually pretty nice. Hang on. Market. Not market, heroes. Where's heroes? I kind of want to give a let's... Let me see. Adds 3 break damage. I want to test something, but I don't really think that I have the means. Oh boy. Oh baby. Three strength. I could upgrade. Could upgrade Gunnulf, give it to him, and have him be 21. Oh my god, that would be broken as fuck. Could give it to a Let. How much does it cut? 20. Oh, no, I can't. I just flat can't. That will obliterate any chances of, Rook, wait, please, Evan begs. She said she'd be here. We need her. You can tell he's terrified of leaving. Evan looks out across the lake with a 1,000-mile stare. He says nothing. We've got problems, Ivor says. The whole place is flooded. We could try to walk the muddy parts, but it's going to be slow. We could try to float the caravan over the lake, but we might tip or get stuck. Or we could just go around the whole thing, but no idea how long that'll take. Pack everything up and take as much weight off the wagon as you can. Soon you're walking through ankle-deep water and thick mud, hoping the rest of the caravan can hold out. The footing is sticky and slow, but the water isn't too deep outside the town. It takes a while, but you manage to cross the enormous mud pit outside of Sigrimhold intact, if not cranky. With an intact, if not cranky, caravan of people. That apparently improved morale. Three weeks worth of supplies. Hopes and prayers, hopes and prayers. Oh, is this the woods that we get betrayed in by a dickwad? A scout returns with a nearly frozen child. I almost stepped on her in the snow. Looks like she must have been running from something. Patches of blue mottle pale her skin. But her chest rising. Even just carrying her along could kill her in a state like this, says a woman. We could be in danger here, another points out. As the caravan tents raise, a fire is built beside the girl, who is covered in furs and ointments. Progress is slow, but soon you see the girl alive enough to swallow water in some heated broth. When you wake the next day, the healer tells you the girl should be fine in time. So -2 to all, will. No encouragement or tales of glory will lift the spirits of the caravan. In the north, we have times like this, one of the Vrows says. The other giants grin, raising tankards and hordes of mead. Skull! They shout. And make short work of the drinks, explaining that each person takes a drink when someone tells a story that is more miserable than the last. Others join in for a second round. Declining a horn, you smile and lull you to sleep while moans of regret wake you. The clansmen are slow to rise, but a few bouts of laughter pepper the air for the first time in recent memory. Alright, after this fight, I'm gonna call it. The villagers are completely oblivious to the destruction that's coming. All we've seen are some dark figures far off, they tell you. Aside from a few young families, they're reluctant to pack up their things and join you. Okay. Put down a camp, and I'm calling it here. I need to get rest myself and things. Ugh, it's 3 a.m. Lord almighty. Alright. Buns.